Welcome to Cardboard Box Games. I'm Adam.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Adam. Today we're going to be talking about archiving, and we just got some questions about it. Like how powerful it is, how to play against it, how to play with it, and just everything archiving. Yeah. Let's jump into it. All right, so we're going to start off with Card of the Week. And Adam, do you want to go first?
Sure. My card of the week was from the tournament we recently went to. This was before the tournament, actually.
Okay.
Me and one of my friends, we were playing, and he had to lob the Titanic out.
Oh, yeah.
But also, he killed all my creatures with it with Into the Fray. And then he played Cyber Giant Rig on it.
Yeah.
And this is an upgrade. You play it, gain 1 amber for it, and it gains the ability. This creature gains at the end of your turn. This creature loses a +1 power counter. But for its playability, fully heal this creature and give it a +1 power counter for each damaged heal.
So it ends up being huge,
So
especially
that's
for
powerful. He did it on Lob the Titanic. He had 8 damage on it already, and
It ended up being 19 power.
yeah, it destroyed me.
If you had the flex with that would be amazing. Because Into the Fray was Cyber something rig, whatever, Cyber Giant Rig.
Yep,
because it would ready if it killed your final creature.
it would.
Then you heal it, put 8 power on it, and then do the flex, and you gain 9 amber. That would be a ridiculous, amazingly combo. All right, Andrew, what about you? Do you have a card of the week?
So, this card I chose is a Barnard card. Also, this is a card from the tournament. I thought it played a big role in my battle. It's called Screech Bomb. I think everybody knows, but basically it's an artifact and has an Omni ability. Sacrifice the artifact, and your opponent loses 2 amber. And it played a big part for my battle because I couldn't forge a key because of it. And I was like, oh, it was rough for me.
It is actually one of the, I don't want to say better because it's kind of delayed, but it is a pretty decent
Artifact.
artifact, yeah. It is fun to use it against your opponent, though, with like Poltergeist. I have enjoyed
It is
that
really
quite
fun.
a bit. I picked a card out of the deck that I played. It is a Sanctum card, 4 power, 1 armor, and it's a creature that is named Prince Derek Unifier. And I play it, I gain 3 amber if you control creatures from 3 different houses. What I really like about this card is, one, that it actually fires, I would say, like 30% of the time for me. It may not seem like a lot, but to get 3 amber, 30% of the time feels pretty good. I definitely don't feel bad just playing it, too. And what I also like is this deck also has Merkins in there. So sometimes I've gotten this just because I've Merkined into like one of their logos cards. And then the next turn I can go Sanctum and I can play Prince Derek, and I've got a Logos Shadows and now Sanctum card. So I get my 3 amber. So it's worked that way quite a bit. I don't think it's overly powerful. I just think it's a fun card. And I enjoy like getting that 3 amber once in a while.
Helpful.
About 30% of the time. So let's talk a little bit about our tournament. How did we? It was a small turnout, unfortunately. Only 5 of us there.
Yeah.
So I got first place.
Yeah, and I ended up going second. And then Andrew, you ended up falling out. I think you went 1 and 2, right? Because of the bye, he got 1 and 2. So, but you played a deck that really wasn't your best deck, just kind of more for fun.
It was an Archon tournament too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So technically, I only went 1 and 1. Adam's the only one that beat me, and I had just beat him in like some practice matches earlier. So it's just like our decks are so evenly matched; it can go either way between us. And then I actually didn't know that you were going to beat the other guy that was there because his deck would seem to be running over everybody, but you ended up taking him down.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And so we got some good store credit.
We did.
Put on our account, which is kind of awesome.
Credit. Yeah.
I really hope we can get more people out there. And if you're in the relatively close to Wilmington, North Carolina area, come out and play at those events. They're so much fun, especially now that they've got like the restaurant that's open next door to it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We got to play in there. And
They
that was
have
kind of fun.
this, cool board game too.
It's called the Sideboard. Yeah, we played some crokinole afterwards, and it was a good time.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we really need more people to come out. And I actually didn't play my best deck either. I played like a fun Age of Ascension deck, knowing that I wasn't gonna. If people came out with good decks, I knew I wasn't gonna win. And you actually played a good Call of the Archon deck.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Adam went in with the hopes to win. And that's probably like your fourth or fifth. I don't even lost count.
Fourth win, I
Fourth
believe.
tournament win so far. So you've got a pretty good record.
Yeah.
I do.
Even though it was only 5 of us.
Yeah.
That is true.
I always
Yeah.
get second whenever he wins. It's crazy. Almost every time you've won, I've got second place.
I usually get second. And
In the ones that Adam wins, I usually get second. Because Adam and I have played in the championship game several times and have lost. I've lost. You got second at the one big one that you went to, and Adam kind of fell out of that one.
Yeah.
You almost won that one too. I was watching you on stream.
yeah.
So, one thing that we've been talking a lot about is, is archiving. And first, maybe Adam, do you want to touch on the cards that
Get rid of archive.
that get rid of archives? Because I think that's a good place to start. Is like how to combat against it.
So far, I found 3 cards. There could be more, but I believe there's only 3 cards. And those 3 cards are Merkins, Tindalin, and Dicinia.
The big tree.
The big tree, yeah, and Dicinia. And each 3 of them are pretty cool. I really like Merkins. It's where
Merkins is like one of my favorite cards.
choose a random card in your opponent's archive or
The top card of their deck.
the top card of the deck and,
And
play
play
it
it.
for yourself, which is really nice.
And the time that I
Archive.
beat you actually was because I got your
Miasma. You did it twice.
Yeah.
It was horrible for me.
I actually was going because I knew he had archived, or no, I had banished his mother,
You
and I
did.
wanted the mother, so then I could set up my Prince Derek Unifier, and then, but I ended up getting Miasma instead. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen to me later on, so I'm in a good place. Merkin's one of my favorite. The big tree I actually don't like, which is that
the 9-power creature that only does 2 damage.
While fighting.
but it makes you discard a random card, which is that effect is pretty good against some decks, and 2 damage is pretty good against logos. So if you think about it, the tree is actually good against logos, really bad against everything else.
Yeah.
Really bad. And maybe I'm overstating that, but I've had decks with that before, and I just could not kill like their Barrister Joya or their Sir Marrows, and like because you just can't do anything with that tree.
I don't know. I don't like how they made the tree only do 2 damage while fighting. Like
I know.
Untamed.
I mean,
Untamed is semi-high creatures, semi-low creatures. Like, and they're in the middle. But shouldn't they add like 1 high creature that can actually fight?
But it does have the ability to fight, discard a random card in your opponent's archive.
Yeah, but it should. I feel like it should be a little bit more, at least 3 or 4.
I just hope it doesn't become a common thing where they do. You have this much power, but you only do this much damage when fighting.
Yeah, that would stink.
I mean, I feel like it goes back to the Magic days. Why not just have an attack value and a health value?
Yeah. that
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense.
That's what they're trying to do there. And I
And then some people, me also forget to like read the card fully. So some people might even miss that and just say, okay, you're taking 9 damage. It's like, no, it's only 2.
Yeah,
And
'cause
like,
it's di-
oh, my plan's
Yeah.
messed up now. Like that happens.
completely agree.
And the
The best card is that last one you mentioned, which is Dysania.
Dysania, whatever. Play. You discard each of your opponent's archive cards, and for each one discarded, you gain 1.
It's the only card that I know of that actually will get rid of an opponent's
Full
archives
archive.
fully. So it's super powerful.
I'm really a big fan of this. I mean, even if you don't discard any archive cards,
Or
it's
if you
still,
get one, like just to have it in your deck is kind of nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
It stops you from like big epics. It stops you from like epic quest people
It
that are doing
does.
things. Not that happens often.
And it's still a creature. It's 4 powered. You can still get use of it off it anyways.
That's true. There is like a couple houses like that. We've talked a little bit about it, so we know. Logos is the main one. It's
It
like
is.
Logos has a ton of archiving. So archive hate is really good against that. But to be honest with you, what makes Merkin so good is the option between the top of the deck and an archive. Plus, there are decks like the deck that I have here in my hand that has Library of the Damned, which is actually really incredible for this deck. Because there are cards in here I absolutely want to archive for later use. And I think that's one of the strategies we'll talk about here in a little bit. There is then, like Shadows has a card like Hidden Stash that
Hidden
lets you
Stash.
archive. And then there are other things like Epic Quest and Incubation Chamber, which do let you archive things. And I know there's some Mars creatures too that let you like archive like things from your graveyard, like a Mars creature from your graveyard.
Yeah, that 2-power Mars creature. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
And I personally think Incubation Chamber is like one of the strongest archiving things.
Do you remember what does that one read exactly?
It's Omni ability.
Okay.
Reveal a creature, archive it.
It's reveal a Mars creature, right?
Reveal a Mars creature, yeah, archive it.
Yeah, and I've never had a deck that really utilized that much. So it'd be cool to try that out. So anyway, like backing up, have you ever played against a deck that uses archives a lot and felt like it was overpowered?
Yes.
You have, okay.
Definitely.
Okay, tell us about it.
Because they would build up a huge gigantic sanctum board, huge gigantic sanctum board, and only play 2 other houses. And then when I actually destroy the whole entire board, the next turn they just call sanctum, pull in their archive, just dominate the whole entire board right away. It's horrible.
Is that the deck that I was playing against you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that deck is good. I definitely don't know if it's overpowered though, because there are like, it takes a while to set that up. So like it loses to decks that are like racing me for Amber and can gain a lot of Amber. But I do love that deck. That deck is because it has 2 Titan Librarian.
It does.
And it's just like all its logo cards archive. And I've literally archived like 11 Sanctum cards, 11 out of 12.
That's crazy.
And he's wiped the board, and I've come back and be like, okay, bring my archive back, play 11 Sanctum cards. It's like, boom. And it is amazing.
That'd be amazing for Epic Quest.
And you felt like that was overpowered?
I personally did, because
Okay.
I only had like a couple creatures on the board, and then you just played everything basically. It seemed like
Do you
and
feel-
dominated the board.
Do you feel like, generally speaking, generally speaking, like archive is balanced, or do you feel like generally speaking, archiving is too powerful?
I feel like it's mostly balanced.
All right, so Andrew, what do you think of archiving?
I think I feel like it's overpowered a little bit. I mean, it's awesome, but there's only 3 cards I can possibly like get rid of archive. That's why I think it's really powerful. If they add a little bit more cards that gets rid of archive, then I think it'll be balanced.
Well, at least cards I can say do this or do that. You know,
Yeah.
like Merkins. I really love that card.
love
No,
Merkins,
I
yeah.
think that'll be too powerful. I think they should there be cards separately just for archive, getting rid of archive cards, and separately. I mean, Merkins I think is a great card, very powerful, but
Yeah,
they
but-
need to make it like.
But then if
That's
your opponent doesn't have any archives, just basically a dead card.
You
in
don't
your
want
hand.
dead cards in your hand, especially
Yeah.
with a deck that you can't swap things in and out on. But I do know
Exactly.
what to Andrew's point, just by introducing a card that destroys archiving,
That's powerful.
it shifts a lot, even if people don't play that card in their deck. The fear of that card being there, and then if archiving gets powerful, people can play decks with that in there.
Exactly.
So the meta can shift.
That's why I think it should be just enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like archiving. I mean, I look at some of the decks that have won the Vault Tours, and I haven't really seen any that I felt like were just purely archive decks that have done really well. I do think it's very strong, and I'm almost tempted to say it's the strongest thing in the game that you can do.
Of course, and you can also draw so many more cards with that.
Exactly.
And build
There's
up lots
so
of
many
combos.
combinations.
Like, I love Library of the Damned, and I love just being able to archive an extra card so I can draw an extra card. Like, I love that. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it actually makes it really nice for me when I want to, if I have 2 discards in my hand, and I can play those 2 discards, and then Library of the Damned to get a third, draw 3 cards instead of 2. That's a huge difference in my mind. So, yeah, I do think, to your point, like, I never really get scared that my archive is going to be messed with.
Yeah.
And that's probably
Yeah.
a bad thing, because I have literally just stashed up a third of my deck in my archives, waiting for a moment for me when I needed to pull it again.
I have a deck that I would literally just save up all my beautiful cards, all my Logos cards. I have Total Recall. I'll play 9 Logos creatures one turn, and then Total Recall, and just gain like 15 Amber, and it's just broken. And or I could just do Logos and just Reap and just draw 9 more cards. Like, Archive is so powerful. If you do it at the right moment, you can just change the game completely.
The only problem I have with archiving, and the reason that I think it is more balanced than overpowered, so my stance is I think archiving is strong, but I don't think it's overpowered because it doesn't do anything in and of itself. So archiving doesn't keep your opponent from forging. Archive doesn't it doesn't do anything to affect the board state. What it does do is it's my style of play, which is value. I love like getting extra value, which is one of the reasons that I really love this deck right here that I'm playing. Because the value that you get from playing things like Merkins, using Library of the Damned, just add up over time. To your point, though, there are decks out there that their whole strategy is to archive a bunch and then do this massive play, like you just talked about. Like your strategy is like maybe let's get a bunch of call logos one turn, play a bunch of creatures. Next turn, use my total recall and get like a ton of amber back. Mm-hmm. And then you can, the next turn, play all your logo stuff back again or something like that.
It's completely heal back your guys, too.
And, like, if you get going on your combos that you're doing, it's hard to stop that.
Exactly, yeah.
But I do think it takes a lot to get to that. So I think, like, you probably worked really hard to get that combo to go off. And there are ways to stop you from forging. Like, I can doorstep to Heaven you or Miasma you or any number of things.
Unless you have good cards to archive at the beginning of the game, then it's hard to stop it.
I think I have to disagree with you about archive not really presenting much board present.
Okay.
I disagree too, definitely.
You can archive tons of cards and draw more cards that can affect the board.
That's a good way to look at it because you get through your deck more.
You do get through your deck more. Mm-hmm. And then you can save for more combos like I'm talking about. Interdimensional graft and binate rupture combo and stuff like that.
You can get to your pieces that you need sooner.
Juggernaut, Ganger Chieftain, double 2 of those horses, Sanctum guys also.
Yeah, the Grey Riders. I know what you're talking about.
You can also like save up some board wipes, protector, good powerful cards for end game too, like too much protect.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. So I think that it's definitely mixed here, right? So I think we all think Archive's good.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Anyone think that Archive's bad? Like, I don't think so. Archive's good.
No way.
Yeah, there's no.
Unless it's against me. That's the only reason.
My thinking though is like there are several different strategies to archiving. In this deck, for example, that I have here on the table, archiving is I archive my key cards for later. So like I don't want to doorstep to Heaven turn 2, but I sure as heck want to draw an extra card and I don't want to be chained. Mm-hmm. So Library of the Damned lets me unchain myself, basically, by sticking those cards away for later use. And I really like that. So that's my strategy that I use in here. The other deck you talked about, my entire game plan is to archive my entire Sanctum house and just play my other 2 houses, one of them, of course, being logos. And then as soon as the board gets cleared and I'm not in a state anymore, I can immediately come back and just fill the board again. So it's like as soon as you start feeling like you're going to get over the hump of what I've been doing to you with the pressure, boom, I'm back out again.
You could epic quest someone with just archiving. You could just save up 7 nights and just play them all on one turn and just epic quest them. Like Logos and Sanctum. Logos like works with like every house basically. Lots of archive.
I mean, it is true. I would love to have like an epic quest in that deck that I did that in because I would probably be able to get the fire off.
Easily.
Yeah, you're right. But anyway, are there other strategies that you guys can think of? Like, those are the 2 ways that I think about playing Archive. It's like, save my cards for later. Maybe a little mix of, I'm archiving this because I just want to draw another card. Because there are times that in this deck that it's just like, I already have a Sucker Punch in my discard, or my archive. I might as well archive another Shadows card just to draw another card. So they're not always going to be valuable cards.
Yeah.
But then there are decks that truly are built on the idea of archiving. And I think those decks are incredibly fun to play.
Amazing.
But they're somewhat easy to stop, right? Like, do you guys agree with that or not really?
I don't really think they're easy to stop.
I disagree. Because if they pretty much archive everything, you can't really stop them archiving.
Especially like Hexbeyonds. Like,
there's no way. Like, you can't stop that.
You kill it, it gets archived again, and then it
archives another card.
Archives another card.
Exactly.
But like my deck, for example, relied pretty heavily on 2 Titan Librarians. And to me, that guy just becomes a target, and you have to like take him out. Because my favorite thing is, dude, like, okay, archive 2 cards. Did you archive 2 cards?
Well, that's also why I make other guys targets also. Like, if I capture Amber and I can move it around, I stick it on, like, weak guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then make them, like, have to decide, stop me from archiving or, like, get their Amber back, try to
That's
forge.
exactly what I do too. Yeah, so if I put like, I want to put a Dusk Runner here and I'm going to capture an Ember over here, it's like you got to pick which one you want to actually.
Like, if you have experimental therapy too and you have, like, Urchin, you could put down that guy, make him a target.
I actually
instead of
love
your other
experimental
guys.
therapy to not get off topic. But I've seen a lot of people just discard that. I'm like, man, that card is actually really good on your own creature. Like, it's really good. But yeah, back to archiving. Like, do you ever, whenever you're archiving your stuff, do you ever worry too much about losing your archive?
I
Heck
mean,
no.
when
Not
I was playing
really.
against your Merkins deck, I purposely put Oath of Poverty in it, hoping that you'll get that card
That
out on
Merkin-
your artifacts.
Which would be funny because my deck has like 5 artifacts, which would have gave me a lot of amber.
It would have, but then it would stop you from, like,
You would have killed my Lash. You would have killed my Proclamation.
Yeah.
which I
You would have
love
gained 4
Proclamation.
amber from that.
And then I have the
Library of the Damned,
Library of the Damned.
Sigil of Brotherhood,
Sigil Brotherhood, and then I also have that one that hit does 3 damage to all 9.
Long Fuse
You would have got
Vines.
10 amber.
If I had all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do try to, like, one of the things that I absolutely love in this deck is the ability to archive the stuff I don't need now. And I think it's like a piece of the puzzle why I just have so much fun with this. It's not unstoppable. This deck can be beat. You've beat it. I beat you. Like,
I have,
back and
yeah.
forth. You destroyed me with the deck today in it. But I do love, like, some of the pieces that are in here.
I wouldn't say it destroyed you. I mean, you held back like 9 turns for my key.
Yeah, I did stop you for a while. He ended up like stealing or capturing like 1 million of my amber, and I just couldn't get it. Couldn't stop you. Have you guys got a deck with Desania in it?
I have a few, actually, yeah. I
Really?
was saving one for your teacher that banished his priests.
Really?
What's this on here?
Desania is the one that makes your opponent discard all their archive
Oh,
cards.
yeah, okay.
I don't know if I have a good one with Desania in it.
I don't know if I have a good one, but it seems decent enough.
I know I
That's
have one
interesting.
deck with it, but I don't remember if it's good.
I would love to actually get a card with Desania in it and force my opponent to like archive all their stuff and
Yeah.
then I'll gain 10 amber. Will you discard your 10 cards? It'd be awesome.
Have a, like, destroy them, or a Gateway to Dis, and have them have Archimedes on the board.
I guess, are you guys scared of archiving decks? Like when you play against them? Like in the tournament yesterday, no one was really playing an archive heavy deck, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think my deck had the most. You had 4 or 5 in there too
I archive at least 8 or 9 creatures.
in one game.
Yeah.
So maybe you had the most archive heavy deck, and then I was probably second with, because I would archive 3-4 cards, in a game. But nobody's playing like the crazy Archimedes stuff that everybody's worried about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the deck I played had the Archimedes and 8 Lotus creatures to go with it.
Did you actually do the archiving from Archimedes ever, or did it not live long enough?
People kept on killing him.
I actually really want to play like Archimedes,
And then Archimedes next to it.
and that would be fun too. But also bouncing Death Quirk, where it's just like kill the guy beside him, kill that guy, kill this guy. You know what I mean? Back and forth.
I've done that one time.
Archive
It's
it
really
all.
fun.
I think that would be fun.
That would be powerful.
I think to kind of summarize all this, I feel like in the future we're gonna have more cards that do something against archiving, but I think if they don't need a lot. I think they need more cards that do kind of what Merkins does.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a direct copy, but I want it to be like
Similar,
similar,
to how it
yeah.
is.
Yeah. And I think it could be something as simple as like, purge a random card in your opponent's discard pile, or purge a random card in your opponent's archives. Like that would be incredibly good for a little 1 or 2 power creature that comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of value, but a little bit of value can take out some of their creatures and things that you don't want to have come back.
A little value is better than none.
Yeah. It does. I mean, you get a
Or
2-power
even, it could do damage, even.
Yeah, it could. But that's it for me. Do you have any other things to talk about with Archive, guys? Looking over the notes. I don't know. I think that's it for us, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. And then I guess to follow up real quick, our last week's video, we ended up shooting it, but we had some issues getting it edited. So that may come out at some point. But we're definitely still doing the weekly thing. Don't worry about it. We're,
Yeah.
we're on this. So yeah, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, Pandora, or any of the other like iTunes, please like drop us a review and follow us there too. We really appreciate it.
And get more people to play KeyForge.
Yeah, and if you're in our area, come play KeyForge with us. We'd love it.
It'll be so much fun.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Keep gaming.
Keep gaming.